Thank you for tuning in to Split Pea Scoop. My name is Rachel Marisha Morrison. Before we get started, I would love to share with you some of my credentials to assure you that you are in good hands at Split Pea Scoop. My Master of Science degree is in nutrition. My Bachelor of Science degree is in adult health and physical education. I have certifications in first aid, CPR, and AED by the American Red Cross. I wrote 2 books. The first one is entitled Through the Spirit Health Journal, a loving, joyful, and peaceful spiritual nutrition experience. The second book I wrote during the pandemic, God plus Music equals Joy. Both of these books are available at Amazon within ebook and paperback form. Let's get started. My first episode of Split Pea Scoop will discuss my Washington, D.C. adventures, specifically the nutrition and fitness of Washington, D.C., as well as any intersectionalities in between. I took the Metro Park train with my mom from New Jersey to Washington, D.C. We stayed at the Hyatt Regency Hotel, which is in the heart of the city, and steps away from the Capitol, Washington Monument, and other places that we visited, such as the Botanical Garden, which we will get into later on as well. My healthiest dish that I ordered from within Washington, D.C. was a vegan chia bowl. It had various fresh ingredients on top, such as baked granola, banana, blueberries, strawberries, coconut, and a garnish of mint that added a nice green touch. I would love to visit the Honduran restaurant that actor John Leguizamo discussed on his travel docuseries Leguizamo Does America. He visited a Honduran restaurant and had pupusas. Pupusas are very delicious, and you can add pretty much anything into the pupusas, any type of meat or vegetable. I personally enjoyed having cheese and spinach in mine. He also visited other cities, such as New York City was his first episode, and that stood out to me as well because I graduated from Adelphi University. Shout out to the Panthers. Shout out to New York. Love you guys. I really enjoyed this episode because it discussed the music history and the Latin influence that each city had received an impact for. So I also enjoyed how he danced salsa in the beginning. Salsa is one of my favorite Latin rhythms, and it was just wonderful hearing from his direct perspective as a Boricua what he enjoyed about each city and the impact that the Latin culture had on America. The seminar that I particularly visited Washington, D.C. for was ran by the Society of Nutrition Education and Behavior, or SNEB. I am a member of this society. It's ran by nutrition doctors, registered dietitians, nutrition educators, and other nutrition professional figures. They were all very friendly, very approachable, very knowledgeable, and it was just an honor to be a part of that conversation and to meet various people who are conducive to making a policy a reality. I was invited to go to an SNEB dinner and explore the USDA, which is a huge dream of mine. I also went to a food literacy presentation. It was very informative. And I believe the woman who ran the food literacy presentation was from Rutgers University. Shout out to Rutgers University, Scarlet Knights. The conference room within the hotel was very regal, and that's where pretty much everything took place for the SNEB. I stayed in Washington, D.C. for 4 days, 3 nights. It was so fun, so informative, educational. I love to learn. I love to have fun. I love to laugh. So this was a great trip. A+ in my book. There is a policy that I developed in graduate school, and I just can't wait to share with the USDA the proposal that I developed, because not only not even about me, so to speak, but it's more about saving lives, helping people know where their next meal is coming from. So a lot of people are unfortunately food insecure. They don't know where their next meal is coming from. And this policy is conducive to feeding people, nourishing people. And that's a huge passion of mine as well. Another passion of mine is to accomplish all the objectives that are involved with nutrition and physical activity within the Healthy People 2030 objectives. So every decade, every 10 years, the government develops Healthy People objectives. So in the year 2030, there are various prevalences of certain health conditions within the entire nation that the government is hoping to accomplish. There are some that are improving, some that are neutral, and then some that aren't improving. And unfortunately, the ones that stood out to me are either stagnant or not improving at all, unfortunately. There are two policies that stood out to me the most that I will read to you in verbatim right now. So the NWS-05 states, increase the proportion of healthcare visits by adults with obesity that include counseling on weight loss, nutrition, or physical activity. A statistic that I read a few years ago was associated with where most Americans are informed about nutrition. And the answer to that, the number one answer, was the media. I was called to do the media because I love talking. Even though I love to talk, I love to listen more. I love to communicate with people. And I love that this honors what we learned in grad school as nutrition figures, but at the same time could be something that I could be a part of to really make a reality. Instead of a goal, it could be an actual existence. So we want to increase people that use healthcare visits to lose weight or improve their nutrition quality or physical activity quality. I feel that in order to accomplish this goal, we have to have healthcare cover certain types of services that people may only perceive as a luxury or out of their reach, such as group fitness, such as personal training, such as registered dietitian services from nutrition, such as opposed to, I feel like preventative measures should be more emphasized in the healthcare system, as opposed to going under the knife for a surgery that you may or may not need or may not improve from. That's my personal opinion. I would love to hear yours. The second policy that stood out to me, it was associated with reducing the proportion of adults who do no physical activity in their free time. That specific objective is associated with PA-01. It's unfortunate that some people may not be able to utilize their free time with physical activity because it makes that physical free time that much more enjoyable. Whether you like to play soccer, whether you like to go running, whether you like to go dancing, whatever the case may be, that self-care time, you definitely deserve to use it for yourself and not put others first. A lot of people may be parents or may have a career that they cast aside, but in order to be your best version of yourself, you got to put yourself first, and physical activity is a great way to utilize that time. You could dance in your room for 15 minutes a day, and then play with your kids afterwards, stuff like that. I'm going to delve into the fitness side of things when it comes to my perspective of Washington, D.C. When I visited Washington, D.C., I utilized the hotel gym. It was just a true oasis, a great escape. There are various levels that had various types of equipment. So the first level, when you first walk in, you see apparatuses of total body strength. In the main area, it had a weight floor with dumbbells and mirrors specifically. The pool was adjacent to the weight floor, so you would see a glass panel, and the pool was right there. It was great. I didn't personally swim in the pool, but I would definitely bring my swimwear next time I visit Washington, D.C. And then when you go on the final level of the gym, you would see cardio machines, including Peloton cycling, as well as other stationary bikes, treadmills, ellipticals, and stair climbers. They provide lovely, motivational city views. I feel like I was running as I was on the treadmill, it was awesome looking at the different buildings and different people walking by, and it was just amazing. There was towel service, water readily available. And then the left side of the main floor had more seclusion, and it was associated with mind-body type of equipment such as yoga mats, a stretching area, had stability balls, it had some rowers there as well. It was just all around a great experience working out at Washington, D.C. in the hotel I stayed in with my mom. And it was just a lot of fun, very relaxing. And I definitely have to bring my Peloton shoes the next time I come in. That'd be fantastic. So we did various tours to learn more about Washington, D.C. as well. We visited the Capitol. We did a tour. The tour guide was very helpful, very informative. My mom is a huge Jeopardy fan, so every time the tour guide asked a question, she would have an immediate answer. I personally love the show Jeopardy, and I even hosted a nutrition and fitness Jeopardy in her honor, and to impress her and all that. But it was mainly for the students to have just have fun during final exam season. It took place in December of 2021, so it was my last fall semester before I graduated. It was so much fun hosting that, and to just inform the students how, like, various nutrition and fitness questions, and it was just so much fun. We also visited the U.S. Botanical Garden. Tons of fun as well. There was a loop of a documentary playing. I'm a huge documentary fan. I love to learn and just relax while I'm watching a movie. It's a great atmosphere, great vibe. So specifically, the Botanical Garden had a loop of a movie that talked about, I guess, the condition of the agriculture figures throughout history. And it's unfortunate that the working conditions themselves were unfortunate, but the fact that they played a huge role in the agriculture, horticulture of our nation is amazing and very impressive. I personally love to garden. I personally love to grow jalapeno peppers and basil and just random awesome stuff that I love to cook with. I love to cook Italian and Mexican food. So when I grew jalapeno peppers in my garden and made them from scratch, we grew tomatoes as well. So I would love to make tomato sauce from scratch as well. It was just wonderful learning about different types of plants. There was even a strawberry plant there, and I wrote an article for graduate school with my strawberry daiquiri smoothie recipe. It's not alcoholic. Doesn't have alcohol in it, but it's very delicious and nutritious as well. So I highly encourage you to read that article as well. There are various spots I want to visit in the future when I return to Washington, D.C. I would love to visit the Copyright Office to just be that much more informed about the copyright that I received from my 2 books. I would love to visit the Library of Congress. I love reading, I love writing, so the Library of Congress is somewhere I want to visit as well. I love learning at museums as well. I'm sure there are various art and history museums. We almost visited the African American Museum, but the tour times were not compatible with the availability we had. So unfortunately, hopefully we'll visit next time we go to learn about our history. But in the meantime, I would also love to visit food festivals just to learn that much more about the nutrition side of things within the city of Washington, D.C. Thank you for tuning in to Split Pea Scoop. That's all I have for you guys today. If you have any questions, concerns, perspectives, feedback, etc., let me know. Until next time, everyone, stay peaceful.